marketing intersects with every part of your marketing stack: PR, influencer, paid search, content, but too often it operates in a silo. The real opportunity is integrating it into your brand and performance strategy from day one. When you align affiliate with your broader media mix and apply smarter measurement, it stops just being a channel and becomes a strategic growth lever. That's a quote from Lacey Thompson, an executive at New Engine and founder of LT Partners. Welcome to Revenue Boost, a marketing podcast. I'm your host, Carrie Curran, fractional chief growth officer, industry analyst, and relentless advocate for turning marketing into a revenue engine. Each episode, I bring you the strategies, insights, and conversations that will help your revenue growth. So search for Revenue Boost in your favorite podcast directory and hit subscribe to stay ahead of the game. In this episode, we're pulling back the curtain on one of the most misunderstood and under-leveraged growth drivers in your marketing stack: affiliate marketing. In Redefining Affiliate Marketing, Brand Plus Performance for Maximum Revenue Impact, I'm joined by Lacey Thompson. She's the founder of LT Partners and now an executive at New Engine, a top-tier performance marketing agency. We'll talk about why affiliate deserves a seat at your media planning table, how to integrate it with your broader marketing strategy, and how smart brands are using data and measurement to unlock serious revenue impact. So stay tuned to the end where Lacey shares how you can get smarter about how you're measuring affiliate and really integrating it into your broader strategy. Let's go. So welcome, Lacey. Please introduce yourself and share a bit about your background and expertise.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I'm Lacey Thompson. My background before I started LT Partners, which was an affiliate marketing agency, was that I started in affiliate marketing and digital marketing on the brand side first. I was very lucky early days to have some really great mentors and leaders. And after spending about 6 years on the brand side and then 3 years at another kind of startup agency, I started LT Partners in September of 2018. We grew very, very quickly, very organically, I should add, and were acquired by New Engine, which is a digital marketing agency, in June of 2023.
Excellent. Well, we're so glad to have you here. And I've always been very impressed with your success, and congratulations on building your own successful company and getting acquired. So I know you've been in the industry a long time and you have lots of expertise to share with us. So start with kind of what, when you're talking to other senior executives, marketing leaders, CMOs, like what's the buzz you're hearing? Like what are people talking about today, especially when it comes to affiliate and digital marketing?
Yeah, I think kind of big picture, what I found really interesting about New Engine is just sort of the way that they have grown and adapted over the course of their history. So New Engine is about 8 or 9 years old at this point, but initially started as a tech company, and they were sort of a hyper granular bidding model on top of Google and Meta primarily. Over time, as those platforms introduced their algorithms and that technology became a little less important, really what they, when they took a step back, realized was they were an agency, and it was all the people that were helping the brands, that were leveraging the technology, that were actually making a big impact. Mm-hmm. And so over time, New Engine pivoted to become a performance marketing agency. And then a bit before the acquisition of LT Partners, really what the New Engine leaders were hearing in the market was this need to not think about marketing in silos of brand and performance, and to bring it really all together. Because I think thinking about it more holistically is really where a lot of brands are trying to get to. And we have seen that in affiliate, very early on. That's a big part of our growth and our success early on was this focus on understanding the incremental value of partnerships and
Mm-hmm.
working more closely with the ones that were more incremental. And for us, that means like introducing brands to new audiences. So we had been hyper focused on that in our channel I use in quotes. There's always
Yeah.
a good conversation about whether to call it a channel. Um, but we had been doing that for a really long time. So at the same time that New Engine was really pivoting toward a digital marketing solution in the space, we had been doing that for a long time in affiliate, and they didn't have affiliate as a capability. So it was a really natural coming together, because our thought process around measurement and how to think about the ways in which different marketing channels and methodologies create value for brands, whether it's within a branding ecosystem or a
Mm-hmm.
performance ecosystem. It doesn't really matter. And we need to figure out how to solve for that and measure for it across everything. And so there was just a lot of strong alignment there.
Yeah, and they were so smart to acquire you and to to your success, but also to see the potential of integrating affiliate channel strategy platform into their offering. I think where you and I have discussed in the past is like I grew up in a performance marketing world, SEO, paid search, paid social, programmatic, and then when the more I learned about affiliate, I'm like, affiliate needs to be part of these conversations. But what we've seen is that it's really hard to get, you know, people who have not quite wrapped their head around understanding of affiliate and how it fits in. It's been a challenge to get them to recognize the importance and the value and the potential.
Yeah. And I think that's what's for me really fun about the channel, because affiliate, like I said, there's this debate around whether it's a channel or a mechanism. And I think that's part of why it's really difficult for some people to kind of like wrap their head around it, because you don't have this like ad platform with a
Right.
campaign structure and like
Mm-hmm.
it's not like you push a button and things change. It's 50% data analytics, deep insights, and 50% almost like interpersonal relationships
Yeah,
and
it is. Yeah.
business development of sorts. But what's funny about affiliate is it's actually the one channel that really intersects so many different parts of your marketing stack, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
influencer, PR, even paid search. Some partners have different capabilities that are within other types of marketing channels.
Yeah.
But yet, for some reason, over time, there has become this trend of having like affiliate only agencies. And
Mm-hmm.
there's this narrative that you have to have an affiliate agency, and you'll have your digital marketing agency or your performance marketing agency separate. And then you have this other thing going on over here. And oftentimes they're not really as closely connected as they could be, if
Mm-hmm.
everything was being handled under one roof. And so I find the irony of that really interesting. And I think it's not as common to see digital marketing agencies that really have affiliate as a core area of subject matter expertise.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, like as somebody who spent the bulk of my digital marketing career in affiliate and partnerships, I found the level of interest that New Engine had in that really exciting. I think
Mm-hmm.
that, as we'll probably talk about a little bit here, when we think about measurement, we think about like the amount of budget that brands are putting toward affiliate
Mm-hmm.
marketing. It's so small compared to the impact that it can have for a business. And it's
Mm-hmm.
really exciting to be a part of like a larger organization that has sort of the infrastructure and the teams to support how we sort of prove that out with advanced measurement.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I'm excited to talk more about measurement. But before we get there, I think too, to your point of the still needs to be more buy-in, education, understanding of the value of affiliate with CMOs and senior marketers. And to your point, like affiliate is so full funnel. You're as you mentioned, PR. It's that, awareness building, whether it's influencer creator or the popular mass publications, all the way down to the different ways that you're engaging when somebody's trying to research before they make their purchase. I think it's as you've said, it opens the doors to strategic opportunities and conversations. But it's like the term affiliate that tends to get people hung up.
Yeah, I mean, we just a couple of weeks ago when we were having conversations with a potential new client, we actually got into the affiliate section of the conversation by talking
Mm-hmm.
about performance PR and influencers and the convergence of brand and
Mm-hmm.
performance and that I think opened the minds up a bit
Yeah.
more than
Mm-hmm.
saying like we're here to talk about your affiliate marketing program. I think what was cool in that particular conversation and sometimes happen is you just sort of see this like light go off, where people
Mm-hmm.
start to realize that this isn't the same affiliate channel marketing that was happening 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We're not just a bottom of funnel ecosystem.
Yeah.
Um, and we have to really figure out how to change the nomenclature and honestly, like the structure of how we reward partners, in order to evolve from that sort of historical bad taste in people's mouths.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I hope I've seen it as an industry. I've seen that shift happening more and more and more people are talking about it in this way and it's evolving and that's really wonderful to see.
Yeah. No, I agree, and I think the more the more upper funnel opportunities are, the really awareness that a lot of the placements now, I know for PR agencies, if they want to be in a top publication, they need to have an affiliate practice within their organization or partner with an affiliate agency. So that's been driving a lot of the shift. But then obviously nothing's grown faster than influencers and creators. So it's understanding that there's that integration and overlap. So much potential. And to your point, it really important to understand that affiliates not just toolbars or
Right.
coupons. And so
Yeah, I mean, I think the cool thing about affiliate marketing is that you're essentially as a brand letting other people tell your story for you,
yeah.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
that is so much more powerful, I think, for consumers to hear from an influencer or a media publication, an editor, especially editorial publications that have a lot of
Yeah.
like focus on the editorial nature. Those are just
Mm-hmm.
people have a lot of trust with those
Yeah.
people. They trust those people more than they trust the brand. And so we're seeing so much more shift to like leveraging what your partnerships are saying about you in other marketing ways. And that's another like cool thing about being a part of New Engine is like, how do we take what this influencer is saying or what this amazing content partner like the Wirecutter is saying and turn that into content that gets in front of your audience through other channels. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and and I think a lot of people are now aware like that performs so much better
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
you just trying to talk about your brand all the time.
Yeah. No, I definitely think that the third party endorsement, especially from a trusted source, does go so far. And again, that kind of adds to what you talked about as it being a brand strategy as well. So you've talked about kind of the shift from performance only to brand plus performance integration. Talk about more of how you're approaching that within New Engine and what you're seeing with the clients that you're talking to today or brands you're talking with today.
Yeah, I mean, I think historically I grew up in the age of performance marketing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we
Yep.
had sophisticated MTAs. We were really focused on understanding like what was the right MTA. How do we need to like tweak it in order to like understand like you kind of get to this point when you're hyper focused on these trackable KPIs.
Mm-hmm.
You get to this point where you've become as efficient as you can be
Yeah.
but you're also not scaling. And so
Mhm.
internally, with New Engine, a lot of what we focused on the early days was a lot of these sort of D2C, like early startups that just scaled very rapidly, hyper focused on performance marketing. But then at a certain point, you sort of reach this plateau, right?
Right, right.
And the way that brands have historically thought about the two is like performance has these KPIs that we're going to hold to, this ROAS, CAC,
Mhm.
whatever your KPI is. On the brand side, those don't exist. You don't have those sort of performance KPIs that you have to hold to. You're looking at like engagement rates and lots of different KPIs. As we've seen the two converge, we need to come up with better ways to measure the impact across the board. And
Mhm.
so that I think has led to our belief system around the foundation that needs to exist is really in measurement
Yeah.
and not it's a mindset shift of your measurement, right?
Mhm.
You can't just rely on Google Analytics as your source of truth. You can't just rely on your tracking platform and affiliate or even some of the other channels, frankly, as your source of truth. And so we really believe that in order to get past that performance plateau and build
Mhm.
your brand beyond that, you have to change the way you think about investing your dollars.
Hey everyone, it's me, Carrie Curran. If you're a B2B company that sells to marketers, whether you're an agency, MarTech, or AdTech, and your revenue is either flattening, declining, or just not growing fast enough, I can help. I've spent my entire career selling, marketing, and servicing marketers, so I know firsthand the challenges they face, the buying decisions they make, and what actually moves the needle. The truth is, most marketing strategies aren't built for revenue growth, but mine are. As your fractional chief growth officer, I'll bring revenue focused marketing strategies designed specifically for selling to marketers, deep expertise in agency, MarTech, and AdTech buying behaviors, modern go to market strategies that include everything from brand awareness to driving loyalty and retention, and a track record of doubling and even tripling revenue for B2B companies just like yours. So, if you're tired of your stagnant results and you're ready to build a marketing engine that actually drives revenue, let's talk. Visit revenuebasedmarketing.com or connect with me on LinkedIn to schedule a consultation. Together, let's build a smarter, more profitable path forward. RBMA, Revenue Based Marketing Advisors, we're revenue based marketing that works. Yeah, no, and that is so smart. And what I've seen over the years is, MMMs don't include all the channels, not just affiliate. MMM doesn't include the media mix modeling, doesn't include only includes paid touch points. So it sounds like you've gotten to a point where you're able to really measure the impact. So it's not, here's your affiliate report over here, and now here's your separate search social programmatic report. You're really looking at the data together. So talk a bit more about how you've been able to do this.
Yeah, I mean, our SVP of analytics, Andrew Richardson, is just incredible. And his understanding of um, the whole ecosystem is,
Mm-hmm.
I just really respect it a lot because oftentimes affiliate does sort of get pushed to the side
Yes.
like a
Yep.
redheaded stepchild, but
Yep.
he actually really understands it. And so
Mm-hmm.
when he has built our approach to MMM, everything does include affiliate, but it goes beyond that. It also includes how are your competitors impacting your ability to grow?
Yeah.
If they're investing more spend in media, that's going to have a negative impact on you. And so
Mm-hmm.
we've done things in our models where we're also incorporating like whether it's an election year and how that might affect your business. And we're looking at, your brick and mortar store performance and how is your digital marketing spend affecting that. So it depends on the business and the model of the business as to like, what are all the different components and the time of
Mm-hmm.
year and everything like every
Yeah.
situation is different. And so we want to come to the table with a model that makes sense for each brand based on that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, But what's really cool, I mean, I've just loved seeing some of the work that our advanced analytics team has done. But what's really validating for me is that we, at very early days at LT Partners, built a proprietary platform called Lift because we believed that just looking at the data in the platform isn't the right way to optimize your program. We
Mm-hmm.
have always believed that how much new traffic a partner is driving for you is indicative of their incrementality. And so we can get that data from Google Analytics, put it together with the tracking platform data, and then we've built a bunch of insights, but then also a bunch of tools for our team to use on
Mm-hmm.
top of that data. And so we're really optimizing toward the partners that are introducing brands to new audiences. And when we have benchmarking data in Lyft where we can look at, like, on average, what percentage of traffic is new from content partners, what percent is new from coupon partners, or even by a specific partner.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when we have conversations, usually with enterprise brands that have invested really heavily into advanced measurement tools like a Measured or a Rockerbox or a Northbeam,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they share that data with us in order to kind of get our perspective on it. We often see very, very close alignment of new traffic and the level of incrementality that's being spit out by these MMMs. Same thing for our internal MMMs.
Mm-hmm.
So we have kind of always been optimizing toward new traffic, along with some other KPIs as well. It's not the only
Mm-hmm.
one, but
Yep.
um, it's really validating to see that these MMM models are really very closely
Mm-hmm.
tied to that. There's not a huge gap between the two. And so you don't have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars necessarily. Like, if you're a smaller brand, there's other ways that you can still optimize toward what's more incremental and valuable. Um, and it doesn't have to be as much of a lift.
Yeah. Well, and it's thank you for sharing that because there's so many data points that it can go. We talk about this all the time is that the customer journey is not linear. There's so many touch points and they'll go back forth the other, but being able to measure impression data or where did they read your article or see your brand but not take action, but then maybe later go and search for it, which is probably a very normal behavior pattern, being able to still attribute that back to the publisher. Because I remember, by hearing about brands cutting their affiliate marketing because they couldn't prove that it drove incrementality, but there's this larger lift that you're able to see. It just sounds like it's helping brands just get smarter and smarter about how they're investing.
Yeah, there's really, like, I think a couple different, like, buckets when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to measurement to think about. One is, like, actually being able to measure the impact, which I think
Yeah.
you need a few different angles to have the
Mm-hmm.
right perspective on whether your affiliate program or any other channel is driving incremental value and what that incremental value looks like. But then there's a different bucket that is like, how do I optimize a program,
Mm-hmm.
and how do I, like, drive toward creating more incrementality over here in the measurement piece?
Mm-hmm.
And those don't have to be the same things.
Yeah.
I think, like, sometimes when I talk about new traffic, or I talk about, like, first click attributed revenue versus last click attributed revenue, people are like, oh my gosh, do you think that we should be using first click attributed revenue as our measurement? And I'm like, no, that's over
Yeah.
here. That's a different
Mm-hmm.
conversation. I'm talking about what data do we need to look at to try to improve what this says over here. And
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes it can be trying to grow first click attributed revenue because that is more incremental than last click typically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's to your point, it's looking at the different data points, getting smarter. And I think the more we've seen analytics get more advanced, to be able to track more touch points and to your point, the correlation between the channels and the impact the channels have on each other. I think that's at the end of the day what one aspect that makes it so incredibly valuable and important. I've talked in the past about getting affiliate a seat at the planning table when
Yes.
the brand is thinking about what do I allocate to TV, what do I allocate to display, programmatic, search, social. Affiliate needs to be part of that conversation. Within New Engine, you have that natural organizational structure to foster that, but it's a challenge, I think. For There's still a lot of agencies and brands that are not looking at it that way, and I think it sounds like just getting smarter about the data that you're evaluating, and how all the different touch points are really driving.
Well, I think that's the problem is that you have this really conflicting dynamic within the channel
Hmm.
where it's a performance based channel, traditionally on a last click basis.
Hmm.
So you're
Hmm.
optimizing, you're paying your partners based on whether they drive the last click.
Yeah.
And then everybody gets mad because all these big partners have figured out how to get the last click at the end.
Right.
And they say the channel isn't as incremental. Well, maybe that's because of the fact that you're hyper focused on bottom of funnel and creating the
Right.
most spend efficiency as possible. And you're not actually thinking about your partnership strategically and how to grow the channel and how to measure it
Hmm.
appropriately and understand the impact, because the last click performance nature of the channel will never allow you to fully
Yeah.
reward the right partners. It will never allow you to fully understand the value of partners.
Hmm.
So the actual construct of the channel is in conflict with it having a greater impact on your business.
Yeah.
And so some marketing leaders just say, I'm just going to let it do its thing, be super efficient, I'm not going to pay attention to it. I think that that's a real big miss when you
Hmm.
think about like your holistic approach and how to grow your brand. There's, I think that people think, oh, it's so small because it's only 10% of my spend. Well, it could be 15% of your spend, but have twice as much impact on your business if you thought
Right.
about
Right.
doing it in a different way.
Yeah, and that the spend is purely attributable, or it's what you're
Right.
spending is a commission typically, or a cost per acquisition. So it's not like your other channels where you're spending millions of dollars and you might not be able to ever see that. So there's a lot of education, I think, that still needs to happen. But your brands that you work with are lucky to have you out there, and helping them get smarter. So thank you.
Thank you.
So for the people who are listening and they're thinking, I need to get smarter about this, like what are some of the kind of just readiness or foundations that they should have in place to get smarter about how they're measuring affiliate and really integrating it with their broader strategy?
I think the first step is really just making sure that everything is set up properly. Like,
Hmm.
do you have your UTMs, assuming you're using GA, which most people do? Some people use Adobe or other kind of sources of truth, but usually everybody still has GA set up. Um, and there's obviously like nuances and other ways to do it. But in general, you should make sure that your UTMs are all structured appropriately within your affiliate channel so that
Hmm.
everything is flowing into Google Analytics in a way that you can match it up with your platform data. Otherwise, you're missing visibility into traffic driven by partner relative to each other.
Hmm.
You might be missing out on some of those other more advanced like attribution models. And I think that that is really the foundation of being able to like build on top of that and be more thoughtful about how you optimize into each of your partnerships. It's also very important to have that information and data to share with the partners. Like the
Hmm.
publishers don't know how much new traffic they're sending to you, they don't get that feedback loop. And
Right. Right.
so you really, the way that we think about the data is not like hoarding it for ourselves. You know, we want to share
Hmm.
it. We want to show partners these are the KPIs that we think are the most valuable for this brand. What can
Hmm.
we do together to increase these metrics? And if you give them that information, a lot of partners are very creative and clever and can come up with a lot of solutions. It's just that they've been trained, a lot of them have been trained over time that their job is to get the last click. And and to get a higher conversion rate and maybe a higher AOV if they're, really thinking about it in a different way. But
Mm-hmm.
it's really it's in disservice to the partnership if you're not sharing that data and
Yeah.
helping them also come up with ideas for how they can do better and make more money themselves.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, to your point, everything will help the companies, the brands get drive more results, more better outcomes. So it's the more data and doing smarter things with it. So thank you so much, Lacey. So how can people find you?
Uh, I feel like anywhere. I'm on LinkedIn. um, you can email me, text me. Like I'm always available to chat. I'm always happy to help. I love finding ways to just improve the industry holistically. And I'm always happy to give any advice I can. Or also, like, I always love hearing what other people are doing that's really cool and unique and special. And I love, coming up with ways to collaborate with other brands. So I'm unfortunately one of those people that doesn't really say no to talking about anything
Yeah.
anytime. I think you never know where conversations will go in the long run. So
Yeah.
please reach out if you want to chat.
Definitely. Well, thank you. I'll be sure to include all that information in the show notes, but I really appreciate your time. I've enjoyed our conversation and look forward to having you on again in the future.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Carrie.
Thanks, Lacey. Thanks for tuning in to Revenue Boost and Marketing Podcast. I hope today's conversation sparks some new ideas and challenged the way you think about affiliate, performance, and full funnel growth. If you're serious about turning marketing into a true revenue driver, this is just the beginning. We've got more insightful conversations, expert guests, and actionable strategies coming your way. So search for us in your favorite podcast directory and hit subscribe. And hey, if this episode gave you value, share it with a colleague and leave a quick review. It helps more revenue-minded leaders like you find our show. Until next time, I'm Carrie Curran, helping you connect marketing to growth one episode at a time. We'll see you soon.